Today we're going to talk about improving the petroleum distributors' EBITDA using balanced scorecard, KPIs and metrics, a very disciplined strategic approach to the task of improving EBITDA. Digital Refiner supports petroleum distributors across the country with sales and marketing weaponry, advanced technology boiled down, simplified, and focused to help the petroleum distributor increase revenue and reduce expense. We use a balanced scorecard and Six Sigma set of disciplines that allow accountability, transparency, and overall clarity and alignment so everybody involved in the organization understands how we're doing. Today's topic is EBITDA, and there's really only two ways you're going to improve EBITDA. You're improving revenues and you're reducing expenses. No matter how any management company wants to talk to you about the programs and offerings they have, it boils down to these two simple things. And so for our conversation today, we're going to use the balanced scorecard to look at those two elements. How does it fit? Well, what is it? The balanced scorecard is a strategic performance kit. It examines your business from four perspectives: financial, the view of the financial stakeholder; the customer's view, what do they see? Internally, what does each department see? And what does it take to keep and sustain this process being effective and productive going forward? Why is it effective? Well, it creates communication, and because of that, it creates alignment. Everybody's talking about the same things in the same way, and dashboards and metrics measure how we're doing. Most common question right here is, well, Brad, what's wrong with our P&L? We've been doing it that way for years. And the truth is, there's not a thing wrong with your P&L, and that is what you need to be doing. But your P&L is one final scorecard. Consider it the final scorecard, if you will. What makes a number in your P&L change? Well, Brad, we met with them last month and said we need to improve our sales. Okay, well, there's a whole lot of things that happened inside the enterprise to make that a success or failure. And what we're anticipating is using the balanced scorecard, you'll know what the P&L numbers are going to be because all along the way, you've measured what's happening. How's the balanced scorecard look? Well, here's the four elements we spoke about. In the center is your vision and strategy from the ownership position. Increasing sales should have some behavior. It should have some increased volumes, profits, new markets. And so from a financial perspective, we should see that. What does our customers see? Well, they want better service, better product value. They want their needs to be met, so they have some perspectives that we have to meet. Internally, each department's going to feel the strain of new growth. The credit process, do we have enough people? Is the process sound? Because we're going to be exploding AR. As we grow, we've got to be aware of cash. We're going to need drivers and equipment, and salespeople need leads and prospects. And in this particular example, the distributor understood in order to sustain this growth long term, they needed to overall improve the core sales competency of their team. If they really wanted to grow, they had to get the core skills of their sales team advanced, which also put some pressure on new hires and some scoring there. So the leadership and coaching skills, coaching and mentoring skills of their management team also needed to be addressed. And this distributor had a very severe problem with a general ledger program that was just not performing the way they needed to, so there was some accounting processes that had to be addressed. Overall, the ownership said this is what increased sales should look like. So we assembled the tribe, and all the key personnel, department heads, a couple people from each line and staff position inside the enterprise were together working on increasing sales. The target from the ownership, increase sales. Here's everything that group came up with in respect to the four perspectives that we asked them to look at. Outside in, every person was part of this discussion, and so they mutually agreed through a process of brainwriting and prioritizing what were the top things that are going to happen in each of the four areas to make sure we can increase sales, and here's how that looked. We're going to take a deep example of a couple here, share of wallet, because now you got the ownership's big picture, you've got the team's ability to assemble the components. Now we're zeroing in on share of wallet as an example. Share of wallet, they needed to grow revenue from existing customers. Some that was just selling more of the products that they were already buying. And in other cases, it was new business lines, like they were buying fuel and not buying oil. As you can see, as that rolls down through the bottom of each perspective of share of wallet. What we're saying here is this is the execution plan that the team put together. It's the tactical elements that look and feel like success. So with those goals clearly, we went out and we started working on them. There were dashboards for all of those areas, but one of the areas that the ownership and the team agreed, they had to increase the skills of the sales team. They were talking about value. They were talking about total cost of ownership. They had to begin to pitch in an entirely new way. And so the team said, well, what's the criteria of a good salesperson look like? Then what are we going to measure and how are we going to score it? How frequently are we going to score it? Then, we're going to have some gaps, and what do those gaps look like? Not only in the core skill set, but also down into the tactical element inside each skill set, and where's this rep at? Now, these were things that they agreed should not be shared directly with the rep, but as the coach, mentor, salespeople, even other department heads were influencing the sales team, they were aware of this individual's skill set and what was being worked on. And so you saw a radical, quick improvement in the sales skills because everybody was coaching that particular person on the right path together. Other than that metric, we also had to keep score on overall, are we getting the sales we want? So a series of dashboards that ultimately tied the project together were created to see, are we getting the results we needed? And the truth is, you only get success in what you measure. We are digital refiners. We can help you in that process. You can contact us using any of these links, and we look forward to speaking with you about how Balanced Scorecard can improve the financial performance of your petroleum distribution company.